India and America have had very warm ties, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans. But when Trump was the president of the United States of America in his first tenure, he had come to Ahmedabad, to Gujarat for Namaste Trump. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had come to Houston, Texas for Howdy Modi. But will that relationship be taken forward to a new level in Trump's second presidency? India Today's Rohit Sharma spoke to several Indian American Republican and Democrat congressmen and other political leaders to get you their perspective on where India-America relations stand now and where they're headed.
The inauguration is coming up. In terms of relationship with India, there's a lot of anticipation in India about this new administration. Everybody knows President Trump. What can India expect from Trump 2.0?
I think the relationship is going to grow stronger. It's already strong. The Biden administration, I think, did an excellent job of making sure that our security, commercial, people-to-people ties were very good. But I think that it's going to grow even stronger. It's going to go to new heights. It's going to go deeper. It's going to cover more subject areas. One area that I am focused on is increased security cooperation, because we need to make sure that we follow and create a rules-based international order in the Indo-Pacific region. So this relationship is very important.
Immigration has been talked about for past 2 weeks. A lot of online hate towards Indian who come here and work here on the visas. What would you tell those people? Like, what can they expect from Trump 2.0?
I hope that he listens to the voices such as mine and others who counsel that our nation is great because we have a great immigration system. Mm-hmm. We have a legal immigration system which is the envy of the world. We get the first draft pick, so to speak, of the best and the brightest, the most hardest working people from the entire planet, including India. And so when we have high-skilled workers who come here from India, they end up being our future entrepreneurs. They end up being our future employers. They create incredible wealth and prosperity for the American economy. And so I hope that he continues to make sure that this system is in place and that.
When we met during the campaigning season, you were obviously campaigning for yourself and, Vice President Kamala Harris. We've got Trump, who's elected as the president now. The inauguration is coming up. What can people expect from Trump 2.0? Like, what have the conversations in your party about Trump 2.0?
I have no idea. My best guess is yours. I think Trump 2.0 will be unpredictable. I didn't see Greenland coming. I didn't see, he campaigned as someone who was going to be a peaceful president. And then in his first press conference, he says he's going to send troops to Panama and Greenland, right? So it's just, you just don't know with him. I think the one thing you do know is that he'll, say and do things to get attention and get press and distract from the issues. And so we'll see what happens. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, a lot of Indian Americans were on, they were online hatred against them, especially the ones who come here, work here. What would you tell your constituents? What would you tell, people from India who are working here on visas and as such, and, who were basically, called out names, including, I remember Congressman Sri Thanda was even asked to go back to India. Mm-hmm. So, how do you see all this playing up? Yeah, I've gotten some of that too. I did my swearing in on a Bhagavad Gita because I'm Hindu, and it talked about my mother immigrating from India, and I got those same kinds of comments. People saying to go back to where you came from. You're not a real American. I would just say that's unfortunately people are vocal now about their bigotry, but I'm not going to let it stop me. Certainly, if anything, I'm going to let it motivate me, and so. I would also say that for those people who are attacked or for those who hold H-1B visas or, immigrants generally, I've got your back, and I know a lot of other people in Congress do as well.
Okay. We are here on the Capitol, just, I guess, hours away in a way from the inauguration. What is, how do you feel about this transition of power, especially Donald Trump is coming in, becoming the president again? What are your thoughts on him becoming the president of the United States again?
Well, this is an unusual situation for a president to lose the presidential election and then come back again. Hasn't happened for decades.
Yeah.
That is what the people of United States chose to do. And I respect American people and their decision. My job is to do the best for my constituency. And certainly I would work with the Trump administration when they are willing to do positive, constructive things. But when they are trying to attack Social Security, for example, Medicaid, Medicare, cutting down funding for social programs, food benefits, nutritional benefits, I got to fight. I got to fight with the Trump administration, and that was what I have told my constituents I will do, and I'll continue to fight for it.
There's a lot of so many things going on, especially with President Trump. He's been saying a lot of things. We're hearing about 100 executive orders on day one, and so many things. What are you most interested in with President Trump, and any of his orders or any of his ideas that excites you at least?
Well, look, I want him to work on the economy. People voted for Trump because he projected himself as someone who has solutions to our cost of living increases, the inflation. Groceries cost so much more, gasoline costs so much more, childcare is more expensive, health care is more expensive. And Trump talked about that and made a case that he alone can solve those problems. And I want to challenge him. And I want him to deliver on his promises to help the American people.
The inauguration is coming up. What can one expect from Trump 2.0?
He's going to be looking for a strong economy. He's going to be looking for a sustained economy. He's going to look for growth above 2%. That's going to include deregulation, keeping the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in place, which will expire in 2025. I think he will look to have a stronger defense posture. I think the Indo-Pacific region is extremely important when you look at China and its rise, not just in its economic strength, but its military prowess. The fact that they're threatening Taiwan in that region that's so important, that has 70% of the world's wealth, 70% of the world's population, about that much in military might as well. It'll be extremely important. I don't know if he'll focus on that in the inauguration itself, but he's going to talk about a stronger, more resilient America that's much more fair. When I say fair, that doesn't mean that we have equal results, but we have equal opportunities, not based on race, not based on gender, not based on anything other than your efforts and your abilities. That's been the American way since the very beginning. One of the things that snuck in somehow or another is that we punish people who are successful. That should never be the American way. Anybody who's part of the Indian diaspora knows that. We've seen a demographic who's extremely successful be punished for that success and actually discriminated against for that success many times. And that's the unfortunate thing. We should never represent that in America. We should always represent our best efforts, and that we should allow businesses to flourish here, because that will keep us ahead of the game, especially as the world's largest economy, with our head looking slightly over our shoulder towards those people who are approaching us very rapidly.
The inauguration is coming up with Donald Trump. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, look, he won the election, but we need to be focused in this country on the working class and the middle class. I have economic ideas of how we're going to revitalize different parts of the country that have been left out of Silicon Valley's prosperity. And I'm going to work where I can with the administration to create jobs and to build prosperity, but I'm going to oppose where he's going to give tax breaks to the very wealthy or be negative on the contributions immigrants have made to the United States.
You've reached out to Elon Musk. He responded to you about Doge. What capacity can we see you working with Doge?
Well, we need a government that doesn't waste money, that invests money, and if there are things we can do to make the Defense Department better, to make it more innovative, to have more competition, to make sure that our regulations are well-reasoned and rational and not excessive, then Democrats stand for good government.
What about India-U.S. relationship? Such a big topic. What do you think will that relationship look like with Trump 2.0?
The India-U.S. relationship is bipartisan. I co-chair the U.S.-India caucus under my leadership, and Michael Waltz, who was my co-chair. The caucus has grown to the largest number ever. We had almost 150 members. I'm co-chairing it again this year. We will continue to grow it. Michael Waltz, who co-chaired it with me, is a good friend, and he's his national security advisor. We went to India together last year, so I'm looking forward to continuing to strengthen that relationship.
And one last question. We saw a lot of attacks against Indian Americans, also including members of Congress, in the past 3 weeks by some of the extreme MAGA Republicans. What do you have to say about that? When you were asked to go back, one of the tweets somebody said, go back to India.
Oh, I don't look at the noise. Most of America cares deeply about the country and are open-minded, good-hearted people, and that's been my experience. It's a wonderful country.